Hi everyone, this is your DFSS team, ready to prepare you for the final instructions for the class review. I am Samantha Agner-Trewergy.
Madeline Hania. Denise Jordan.
Excellent.
And Victor.
On the side over here. Okay, so we're just going to launch right in. We think we'll be pretty quick today, and we'll send this out afterwards for anyone who wants some final tips to share around. But we had our final conversation with the feds this morning and wanted to just provide you all with the last up to the minute information that we have. If you can go to the first slide, Victor. Thanks. So today we'll just go over our last minute updates. We'll let you and remind you the things we've been talking about of what to expect when you have if you are chosen for the class review. I think most of you have been in touch with our education team and everyone has what they need, but we will make sure that just remind you what we need from you, and then talking about how to support your teachers, and then answer any questions that you have. So from the feds, we have heard this morning that there will be 72 sites in 44 zip codes that will be reviewed. I will say that could change at any moment. So that is our most up-to-date information, but if we have anything else, we'll let you know. They're scheduled for mostly the morning. They did say that they were trying not to do things after nap time, as they know that gets kind of hard to make sure enough children are in the classroom. But there are, those of you who have afternoon sessions, there are going to be afternoon sessions that are reviewed, so keep that in mind. I think that's particularly for those of you who have half-day sessions, just keep that in mind that there will be some afternoon sessions. We will not know what sites until Monday morning, and so for those of you who heard some rumors about some sites that may be chosen, we do not know what sites will be chosen. We have some guesses based on some information, but it's all guessing right now, and so we won't be able to tell you which sites will be there until Monday morning. When the feds get here on Monday morning, we will sit down with them and know the sites and be able to give them any up-to-date information we have. We know many of you have had a teacher change or a vacancy or a teacher who's now gone out in FMLA. We have been tracking all of that information, and we'll be able to let them know if there's a reason a site that has been chosen cannot be reviewed. It's very important that you keep that information up to date with us so that we can let them know on Monday morning what any changes that have been made. There's a randomly generated sample of classrooms, and that's incredibly important because they don't have control over what classrooms that they are choosing, and neither do we. The reviewers are really instructed to make sure that the sample that is randomly generated is the sample that is reviewed, meaning that if there's a disruption, that a teacher's out for a day, their priority will be to reschedule that classroom unless that is impossible. So just keep that in mind. If your teacher is out for the day, they will try to come back another day and switch around the schedule first and foremost. That said, if the teacher is on FMLA or if a teacher has quit, that they won't be there. Another note is keep in mind the teacher has to have been in the classroom for 10 days in order to be reviewed. 10 consecutive days prior to the review in order to be reviewed. So everyone who's had a new classroom, any questions on is the teacher been there long enough, please make sure that you are informing the education team of that. I know many of you have them, so that we can keep that as up to date as possible and make sure that we are getting all of the information primed and ready to go for Monday morning to keep the reviewers as efficient as possible. Anything else from this morning's call, Madeline, Denise, that's worth noting?
No, they're going to be arriving here at 8 o'clock. We're going to have a 8:30 meeting with them, and that's when we'll receive the schedules. As soon as we receive the schedules, we will be calling you to let you know which site has been selected, which site and classroom has been selected.
calling the directors as well as the education coordinators.
Mhm.
So it's really important that people are available with their cell phones. And we figure, I think, with respect to Monday, if there is that calls will be made at max no later than 9:30.
Yeah.
So you would have
Mhm.
received a call by 9:30 if
Mhm.
you are kind of in that zip code.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
oh.
So as we talk about what to expect, I think that's a good transition.
Mhm.
Please review the tip sheet that was sent yesterday. That has a lot of this information on it, and please send that tip sheet to all of your site directors. We want to keep everyone as informed as possible. If there are questions, we'll be happy to answer them in writing after this as well, if that's helpful. And we'll make sure that you have all the information, but please make sure that you are sharing that with everyone in your sites that may be able to, that needs to be informed about this. So what to expect, we've been over this. Just a reminder, the reviews will be approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes, a little bit less if everything goes exactly as planned and there's no transition time. It's 20 minutes in the classroom, 15 minutes of coding outside the classroom, 20 minutes in the classroom, and then again 15 minutes of coding outside the classroom. We are asking, and again, just a reminder, to please find a comfortable place for the reviewers to code outside the classroom, a minimum of a chair in the hallway outside the classroom, or if you have an office that they might be able to sit in for that 15 minutes after. They are not allowed to code during that 20 minutes in the classroom, and they are very strict that they only have 15 minutes outside the classroom. So the more efficient you can make that for them and prepared you can be, the more efficient they'll be in and out of your site if you're chosen. Okay. If your site is chosen, as Denise was saying, the education team contact here at DFSS will contact the program director, education coordinator, and site director. We will be calling all three. We expect the program director and the education coordinator to also call the site director. But just in case, we know sometimes there's glitches, or if we can't get, we are planning to call all three of the sites. We ask that you, the leadership, particularly the program director and the education coordinator, please plan on being available each day until 11 a.m. If a reviewer, as Denise said, we anticipate that the reviewers will be on site by 9:30, and we will have made all the phone calls. However, if they show up at a site and there is an issue and we need to choose another site in the area, we will need to be in touch with you very quickly. So please don't plan on, if you don't hear from us from 9:30, shutting off your cell phone and going into hiding, because we will be tracking you down. Please be available. Please have the education coordinator. This is a little bit new of a request, as we've been doing spot checks for a while, the last couple of weeks. Please have the education coordinator visit the chosen site to monitor the classroom and ensure they're following the daily schedule if you're chosen. So we know that's a little bit of a burden to have the education coordinator be on call in case something happens. But as we've been doing some of the spot checks, we've noticed that some of the teachers maybe change their schedule around. The site director may not be as knowledgeable about what to expect in the class review. So if your site is chosen, we're asking for the education coordinator to please join the reviewer there and be able to help make sure everything goes smoothly. If that's impossible, of course, we'll work with you, we'll make it happen, but if at all possible, that is, we've found over the last couple of weeks as we've done spot checking, it will be really helpful to ensure that everything goes smoothly this next week. What to expect from us: a City of Chicago employee will drive the reviewer to your site and hand them off to the site director, meaning they will show up the site director, ask for the site director, be able to hand them the reviewer, introduce them, make sure that they will make sure that the site director is knowledgeable about what classroom they're reviewing, how to get there, Hopefully the education coordinator will also be there and can also be helpful, but we will at least be asking for the site director. And that they'll then wait outside the building for them, wait in the waiting area or in their van if there's no waiting area available in the site, in order to receive the reviewer when the review is done. The reviewer will ask how many total children are enrolled in the classroom. That will be the only question they are supposed to ask of the site director and or teachers. They are not supposed to engage with the teachers beyond that. Now, we're all human. They may say things, they may talk a little bit, chat a little bit, so don't be taken off guard. But we want to make sure your teachers do not feel like they are being rude if they do not talk with them, because they are not supposed to be engaging with the teachers as per the review protocols. They are only supposed to do that 20 minutes in the classroom 2 times. So just want to make sure that they do not, your teachers don't feel taken off guard, they don't feel slighted, particularly if they come in, they do 20 minutes, you don't want the teacher to feel that all of a sudden they've been rude and then be caught off guard for that second 20-minute cycle. So just make sure your teachers know that's not personal. They're not being mean to them. That's the protocol of the class review. The other thing that please make sure as we are doing our spot checking, please make sure that there is someone, if you get a call, waiting at the door for them. We've had a couple of instances where we've shown up at a site and there was no one to receive the guest or visitor. And that's just really important to make sure that we don't have any glitches there, that someone is there waiting and ready to get the site get the reviewer. Please help us prepare. Ensure that we have your cell phone of a leader at your agency who will be available next week. I promise we're not going to misuse that. We won't call if we don't need it, but it would be, we'd hate to have something happen and not be able to get in touch with you, or we know that people may not be at their desk. So please make sure that we have a cell phone number of someone who can be reached during the review so you don't have to sit at your desk and wait for us. Please ensure that your site directors are prepared, they have all the information, and that you don't want to have to be filling them in if your site's chosen. So make sure that that tip sheet we gave is really gives a good amount of information about what to expect, and so please pass that along. And I think most important, ensure that teachers are following the daily schedule. Reviews cannot happen if the children are outside and or it's nap time, which means that if your children, if the review is scheduled to happen over lunch, for example, and you have the children come end lunch early and go down for nap, and that throws your daily schedule off by 20 minutes and the second cycle can't be done, that will not be good. That will mean that the review is incomplete, and that will throw off the review schedule. So please make sure, that's why we're asking the education coordinators be hands-on during this, to make sure that you know, if you see that, oh, kids are coming inside early, or it's raining one day and the schedule changes, please just give a call, understand, you know, let us know if there's issues you need to work through, but that's the most important part. And please stay in touch. If a teacher is out, let us know ASAP. If something happens in your site, if there's a safety concern around your site, anything, please let us know. Please call. Our education team will be on call, sitting, waiting for you all week for anything that might happen. Doesn't matter if you're chosen or not. Let us know if something happens next week that would throw off your schedule, throw off your site, anything along those lines. As we've been talking to the feds, particularly this morning, they are really trying to work with us and really give us the benefit of the doubt that, you know, we're trying to give them the information, be proactive about this, but it will, every time they have to redirect because they show up someplace and there was something we should have known about and we didn't, it'll really throw off the review. So please keep in touch with us. Let us know. Keep calling us. Let us know what's happening. And if you have any issues, you know, reach out to Denise immediately, and she can help walk through it. All right, before we go into the how to help teachers, anything else you want the team to know?
Oh, I just want to reiterate about that daily schedule piece, because one of the things that the reviewer did say that she understands we follow the lead of the child, and therefore your schedule could have a few minutes off from what it is, but we're just not looking for anything that's like a 20-minute off from your schedule. So keep that in mind, and especially with respect to that outdoor time and nap time, because we've done these spot checks and there are still children still napping when it says they should be up doing something else. So just, again, so that's back to that daily schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as Denise said, they are not going to be harsh if you circle time runs a little bit long or your area time runs a little bit long. That is not what they are looking for. The biggest disruptions are that the outside time and nap time will really disrupt the ability to review. So as we go to the next slide and talk about supporting teachers, you know, your teachers, help them stay calm. Don't be so rigid on circle time that they end up being disruptive to the children because the children were asking questions and they've stopped because of the daily schedule. Help them stay calm. They know how to do this. We've put a lot of work in. They've really been working very hard. We want them to stay confident. We want them to know that the hard work that they put in has made them well prepared for this review. This is really stressful for teachers. For those of you who've been in the classroom or heard me say this before, anytime you're in the classroom and someone comes to visit, it's really, really hard. It's really hard to have someone in the classroom with you, disrupting the flow of children, and 3- and 4-year-olds are not very accommodating to new people and staying in their schedule. So help your teachers remember to stay natural, do what they know how to do. Don't try to perform. Don't try to act, do anything above and beyond. Do what they know how to do. Remember their class principles, remember all the coaching they've had, and really help reduce their stress on your part with a lot of encouragement. We put in a lot of work on all levels. You all have, the teachers have, the education team here has, and we are very confident that we've got this. Couple other notes: make sure that your facilities are clean. You don't want to, have trash sitting out front. The reviewers are not compliance monitors. They are not looking to make sure that every exit sign is lit up or every that's not what they're there for. But we also want to present a good face to them. So please make sure that you take a look at your site, make sure that it looks nice, that it's well taken care of. And make sure that you are as welcoming as possible. So I think we'll move to questions at this point, unless there's anything else. Okay. Oh, the one other thing I will say: the reviewers are going to ask for enrollment. They are only asking for enrollment because they need to make sure at least 50% of the children who are enrolled in the classroom are in attendance that day. They're not asking for enrollment to make sure that you have the right number of 3- and 4-year-olds. They do not care. They don't care if you have 1 Head Start funded child or 13 Head Start funded children. They only care to say how many children are enrolled in the classroom, and to make sure when they count then and see how many children are in attendance that it's at least 50%. So don't be stressed out about is it the 3- and 4-year-olds and how you want the children to be. They're going to ask you that question. They just mean total enrollment in that classroom regardless of funding stream.
And they're not looking for you to provide a piece of paper that
nope.
lists it. It's just a question that requires a verbal response.
Exactly. Just a verbal response. And just to let you know, the feds have decided to do that because we're such a large grantee. For us to keep very, very accurate enrollment numbers across all of our sites of things could change today, you could have another child and enter the classroom and, you know, might not get into COPA until Monday at 9 a.m., we wanted to make sure they thought it was easiest and best to put that, to just do it verbally at your site. So make sure you just know how many children are enrolled, again, not by funding stream, not by age, just how many total children are enrolled in this classroom. You should have a number between 0 and 20. And hopefully it's not 0, and then we will be able to, they'll be able to count and make sure that that the classroom can be reviewed. Okay, so now we'll move on to questions.
We got a question from Linda from Northwestern. If we don't get a call, does that mean we are not selected?
If you don't get a call on Monday morning, it means you are not currently selected. For that day. So remember, it may switch over the course of the week. And so please make sure that we are, that you stay available every day for the call, because if we find a site can't be reviewed for some reason or another that they had chosen, they will have to choose another site, and there is an algorithm for that, and so we won't know what that site is.
Will you know on Monday all the sites that will be selected for the review?
We will know the tentative sites that are being selected for the review on Monday, and we will communicate that to you as soon as we have it. Again, keep in mind, I just want to remind you, because I don't want anyone to get so comfortable on Monday to say, I didn't get a call, not happening. It may be that on Monday we show up at one of the sites, and for some reason, you know, they were telling us a story the other day that there was a house fire next door to one of the sites, and for safety reason they couldn't go to the site. If something like that happens completely outside of our control, they will pick another site. So yes, we will know all the sites, but please don't get comfortable until we get to Friday.
Beginning at what time should we expect to be contacted in the morning?
We will start contacting you by 8 a.m. Somewhere, as Denise said, we expect to have all of the sites contacted by 9:30, but please stay available until 11. We will continue to send emails out to our EDPD email list with information. So as you get that information, or as we get information, we'll provide it to you.
These next two questions are the same. Who do we call if we have changes? Denise?
Please call Denise or your education team member. So your education team member is the first line of defense. If you have any issues, any concerns, something comes up and you can't reach them, then call Denise.
How do I know that you have my correct cell phone number? And will you have many lines open if we have to call or if everyone is calling at once?
The correct cell phone number, your education team member has been calling through and asking for your ed coordinator and your program director's cell phone number. If you do not know if they have it, please send it to them this afternoon. They're sitting and waiting by their email to have that. And they are listening to this they're listening to you right now. So they'll be there. The lines will be open, but this is why we have multiple education team members as well. So not everyone will need to call the same person across there. You can always email any of us too, or the CSD email list if there's any concerns and you have trouble reaching someone. We're all on call all week next week.
Would there be a daily briefing webinar?
Yes. So we won't do a webinar. We'll do a conference call. The conference call number was sent out in the tip sheet that we sent last night, and we can resend it again after this email, after this webinar. It'll be at 4 p.m. every day. If we need to adjust that time over the course of the week because of how the reviews are running, we will let you know. But we'll do probably about a 30-minute phone call every day at 4 p.m.
You will know which sites, but you will not know which day they will be coming to us.
We will know days and sites, but again, it's a tentative schedule because if something happens, their priority. So if a teacher, if their Tuesday site, the teacher is out sick that day, they might switch that to Thursday and bring their Thursday site to Tuesday. So it's very fluid over the course of the week. And so we appreciate your flexibility and communication with us.
Maria Elena, what number? Can you clarify that question for us?
I think you're saying what telephone, if you're saying what telephone number, please call your education coordinator, your education team member.
For half-day programs that do not have an afternoon session, will they avoid going after Head Start hours?
If you're a half-day program with only a morning session, they will only go to the morning session. So whatever hours you set on your daily schedule is where they will they are using to schedule the times.
Okay.
All right. So that's all the questions we have. We'll give you another couple minutes to write any additional questions that may have. We hope this was helpful. Again, sorry about the late notice. We just found out about the call with the feds and wanted to be able to give you the information that we have. We'll do daily phone calls, 4 p.m. next week. Again, the number was in the tip sheet that we sent out yesterday. You can always feel free to reach out to us. But I can't say enough. I think we are well prepared for this review. We're prepared at DSSS. We're prepared at our sites. Having a chance to do spot checks all the last couple weeks gave us an opportunity to highlight to you anything that we saw that maybe needed to be taken care of, and we really appreciate all your attention to those things. I think we are good. Help your teachers feel confident. Help your teachers feel excited about this and the opportunity. Please don't stress them out. Please don't put a lot of pressure on them. It's enough pressure as it is, and right now, you know what, we did all we could do to be prepared, and now it's just time to perform. So thank you very much. I see no more questions, so hopefully we've answered all of them. And you can always feel free to reach out to any of us at any time, and we will help make sure that you have all the information you need. All right, guys, it's go time. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.